Hi friends, welcome to Crack Grade B. We are back with yet another important lecture on the current affairs series that we are doing for you. So this would be the PIB series from 1st of March to 31st of March 2022, and this is the compilation of very important news articles or important piece of news from the Press Information Bureau. So let's begin with the first piece of news, that is gender samvad. So see, when the exam is near, when you hear this kind of word gender samvad, first thing that should come in the mind, when this is an initiative by whom? This initiative between the day NRLM and it is between IWWAG, means Initiative for What Works to Advance Women and Girls in the Economy. So this is a joint initiative between these two uh, entities. Now, next thing that you should know that about the day NRLM. Now, if you do not know what day NRLM is and anything related to day NRLM, then there is a dedicated video on the Ministry of Rural Development in our YouTube channel. So I think 2 to 3 months back video. If you watch that, everything related to Ministry of Rural Development you are going to understand on that single piece of video. So that's one of the very good video liked by many people. Please do have a watch on it. So let's begin. So what has recently happened is that over 300 state mission has participated from 34 states in the third edition of Gender Samvad. And this was organized by whom? Deen Dayal Antyodaya Yojana National Rural Livelihood Mission by Ministry of Rural Development. Look, straight away, you won't get question that which edition or, what was the theme. Probably you won't get this type of question. But high chance they can ask you the initiative, that is gender initiative, between which of the government scheme and which entity, right? They can ask you that the NRLM belongs to which ministry. So anything that is associated with current affair becomes very important, right? So now the objective of the platform is given here. So as you all know, you don't have to hunt anywhere for the current affair the static part of the video. You would find it here in our current affair material, right? So let's see the next one. Technical textile, very important news. So what happened recently is Ministry of Textile in partnership with CII, Confederation of Indian Industries, organized a full day international conference on technical textile. Now see, high chance they won't ask you about the conference, right? High chance. Again, high chance that likely a theme can be asked, that what was the theme. But it is very much likely they can ask you about the technical textile itself, right? Or the use of technical textile. And also this type of news becomes very important for your uh, descriptive paper as well, right? So now India's textile market size is 223 USD, US dollar in billion. So that's the size of the Indian textile market, right? Now this textile sector accounts for 7% of India's manufacturing output and 2% of GDP. So 2% of GDP just from one sector, that is textile, is huge. 12% of exports and employs directly about how much people? 10 crore people. So these are the very minute data, and I think reading it 2-3 times you would remember this. And if there is something related to, let's say, balance of payment, export import, you can simply write that this is one of the sector that counts 2% GDP and about 10 crore people are employed. You can also mention, see, India has recently crossed 400 billions of export, right? So you can mention that 7% of the 12% of the export is from the textile sector. So simply you have to connect between the data and things will automatically come out, right? So next piece of news. So this is the static part and very important, technical textile. So you should go through it. What is technical textile? It's about the agro textile, right? It's about the agro textile. It's about the medical textile. It's about the geographical textile. It's about the protection textile. It's about the industrial textile. It's about the sport textile. So textile doesn't necessarily means clothes, right? So that is something for the layman to understand. Okay, textile means clothes, but for someone like you who is aspiring to be an RBI Grade B officer, you should know the the broad definition of textile, and this is the broad definition. So, and you should also know what technical textile is. So you will find the importance of technical textile. Go through it at least 2 times. That would be enough. Then National Education Policy 2020 and Bal Bhavans. So National Education Policy, right? So don't get confused by new education policy. Now National Education Policy 2020 paves way for transformational reforms in school and higher education system in the country. Right? Now, what is Bal Bhavans? Let us read that. NEP 2020 recommends that every state will be encouraged to strengthen existing or established what Bal Bhavans, where children of all age can visit once a week, example on weekends, so you can visit any day, or more often as a special daytime boarding schools to partake in art related, career related and play related activities. So this national education policy is about overall development of the child. Okay, so maybe you, me, so this generation has just read about the academics in school, nothing else. So but the National Education Policy 2020 is about the overall development of a child. So I hope now what is Bal Bhavan is completely clear. Now then, this is the static part of some of the features of the new Education Policy 2020. You can go through it, you will understand. Okay, it's 5 plus 3 plus 3 plus 4, very important. Right now it's 10 plus 2 plus 3, right? But things will change once this is implemented across the country. 5 plus 3 plus 3 plus 5 plus 3 plus 3 plus 4 would be the new system, right? So let's now move forward and let us see the next piece of article, that is World Happiness Index Report 2022. So see, we won't cover it here because we have already covered World Happiness Index in the finance news as well, right? So let's not read this here. So let us quickly move forward in the next one. Okay, green hydrogen fuel cell electric vehicle, FCEV. Why this is very much important? Green hydrogen, look, the government is heavily pushing electronic vehicle, and also in the recent time you have seen that the road transport minister, that is Mr. Nitin Gadkari, had been talking about hydrogen cars as well, right? So, and believe me, right, maybe all those statements given by the political member of the country holds no relevance in examination, but that holds relevance when it comes to the sentiment of the country. Who are those people, right? They talk politically, but they also represent a ministry, right? They are also a minister, they are also in the cabinet. So in that sense, when they speak on some sector, they speak the sentiment. We'll have to understand. And current affair is about the sentiment of the country. What is current affair? Current affairs means you are reading what is happening in the country. Means you are actually reading the sentiment of the country, what is going on in the country. So this kind of news becomes very, very important. So the world's most advanced technology, the green hydrogen fuel cell electric vehicle Toyota Mirai, was recently launched by whom? Union Minister for Road Transport and Highway. Okay, right? So significance is awareness of green hydrogen. Okay, so the emission from this, so there is no emission in the electric vehicle, but yes, I'll tell you there is emission. How there is emission? Because a battery, right? The production of battery is itself is an is not a green technology. Maybe when you draw power from the battery, it's something green. But what is used in a dry cell? It's lead. So this is a very one of the this is a element which is not environmental friendly. So So the process of manufacturing a lithium ion battery is very tough, and also is not 100% green. So uh, uh, this is about the awareness of green hydrogen and FCEV technology. Now let's move forward with the next one. Okay, so static part is here, which you should know. Okay, let's move forward now. Deep Ocean Mission. What is Deep Ocean Mission? The Ministry of Earth Science has launched the Deep Ocean Mission. Who is the implementing agency? Agency is ISRO. Look, this kind of question you can get in the phase 1 as well, in the phase 2 as well. Like, Deep Ocean Mission is launched by which ministry? Okay, again you can get who is the implementing agency. Maybe Deep Ocean Mission, when you read this, if you put some logic, you'll understand, okay, that's the only ministry available. It's the Ministry of Earth Science. But who is the implementing agency? If they ask you this question, it would be very tough to guess unless you know it. Okay, so yeah, then let's move forward. What is the cost? It's a central sector scheme. This is the cost. Time frame is from 21 to 26, and these are the objective. Give it a read at least 2 times, that would be enough. Then Krishi Vigyan Kendra, the next piece of news. So there are 38 KVKs under the state government, 66 under the ICAR institution, 103 under the NGOs, and 506 under the agriculture universities, 3 under central universities, 3 under public sector undertaking, and 7 deemed to be universities, 5 under other educational institutions. A piece of data, but yes, certainly it's high that you are going to get this kind of micro data. But what is Krishi Vigyan Kendra? When it was launched? Okay, what are the objectives? What does it do? You should know everything and anything related to Krishi Vigyan Kendra. So you would find all the relevant things that are important in the our current affair material. You don't have to hunt anywhere else. Then let's move to the next one. River Regenerating Detailed Project Report. Okay, so this report is by the Ministry of Environment, Forest and Climate Change, has released detailed project report worth 19,000 crore on the restoration of 13 important river through forestry initiative. Right. So what is there in the detailed river? You can go through it. Okay. It says that National Mission for Clean Ganga is and recognize that the growing water problem is caused by the deterioration of river ecosystem. Right. So it highlights few of the things that concerns the river and also concerns the cleanliness of the river. So let's move to the next one. 5th India-Canada Ministerial Dialogue on Trade Investment. Right. See, when you read this type of information, what is more important is the joint statement by the both countries. Right. Let's say recovery of bilateral trade. Both sides expressed satisfaction over the strong recovery of bilateral trade in 21 after the economic contraction as a result of COVID-19 pandemic, with the bilateral trade in goods reaching US 6.2 billion, registering a growth of 12% as compared to the previous year. So see, what is important here is the bilateral trade between India and Canada is somewhere around USD to 6.29 billion with a growth rate of 12% compared to previous year. Right. So you can see, but see this line, both sides also appreciated this kind of thing. Just have a read, but don't try to remember it, because that will not be asked. Only thing that will be asked where something is signed, an MOU or a joint statement or a sentiment. But so this is the normal conversation. So we have put, just because if we say that only that USD 6.2 billion is the trade between India and Canada with 12% growth rate, then it would be very tough for you to remember. Why? Because you don't know the background. So putting all this thing is like, making you aware about the background. Okay, in which, where it happened. So it happened where? It happened in a ministerial dialogue on trade and investment. So this is the fifth ministerial dialogue that has happened in New Delhi. So let's move to the next one. Just read it once or twice. Fine, it would be enough. Then, draft national policy for the medical device 2022. Now, recently the Ministry of Chemical and Fertilizer has released an approach paper for the draft national policy for medical device 2022. Right? So this is a draft national policy. So when you read this kind of news, do keep in mind that you will have to see if this has been adopted before your examination with some changes or not. Maybe you see, you will read it today. Fine, this is a draft paper. But what if before, 15 days before the exam, this has been, approved, or this has been adopted with some changes. So those becomes more important than the draft. Right? So do keep that in mind. Let's now move to the next piece of article, that is Niti Aayog releases second edition of Export Preparedness Index 2021. So again, we will not cover here because we have already done it in the finance current affairs. So we have seen that Gujarat is, second time in a row. So we have already seen all this data. So we are not going to see it here. Let's now move forward. BIMSTEC Summit 2022. This is very important. You should also know who are the BIMSTEC country. What did the Prime Minister said in the BIMSTEC virtual meeting? Okay, what's the theme of this summit? This is very important. Why this is very important, I'll tell you. Because India is one of the big economy in the BIMSTEC countries, right? So that's why it's become very, very important. Very, very important, right? Because see, when you read about BRICS, here, almost most of the countries are of the same size except China, right? Russia and India, almost the same size, So Brazil is also having an important say, South Africa. But in the BIMSTEC, there are many smaller countries who look up to India for multiple things, for help, for guidance, for multiple things like Nepal, like Sri Lanka. So you should know who are this BIMSTEC country, right? So you can go through it at least 2 times and that would be clear. So this is headquartered where? This is headquartered in Dhaka, Bangladesh. Out of the 7 members, 5 are from the South Asia. Who are they? Bangladesh, Bhutan, India, Nepal, Sri Lanka. Look, out of this, 5 countries, India is one of the major economy among them. And rest everyone is, very small compared to India. Okay, 2 are from the Southeast Asia, that is Myanmar and Thailand. So you should know this. Then, bridging educational learning gaps. What is this news? So with a view of addressing the issue related to gap or loss of learning among students during and after the lockdown, National Council for Education Research and Training, that is NCRT, has prepared alternative academic calendar, which is week-wise learning plan for the grade 1 to 12. So this is a very important steps towards, education. So you should know. Now, let's move forward with the next news article, that is LIGO India project. Now, what is LIGO? Union Minister of State Independent Charge Science and Technology. So multiple ministries there with this minister, right? Said that Government of India accorded in principle approval for the Laser Interferometer Gravitational Waves Observatory, LIGO. Estimated cost is 1260 crore, right? Just go through what LIGO is, because this is something related to science and tech which is not there in your syllabus in the RBI Grade B. So it's high chance any question can be framed here for your phase 2. But obviously in phase 1 you can get like which minister or which ministry has launched, or some objective of the LIGO, or maybe they will ask the amount, that is 1260 crore and something like that. If you go through it, it will get clear. Then let's move to the next one, that is Geological Heritage Sites of Himalaya region. Right? what are the geological. Now let's see. Ministry of Mines has approved Ministry of Culture to explore the possibility of inclusion of geological heritage sites declared by GSI under the preview of existing ancient monument and agriculture sites remain Act 1958 amended in 2010 by making suitable amendment in the act, right? So by the first line itself it's almost clear. Rest again, this is not directly related to your phase 2, but in the phase 1 you can get, then the next one, Mihika committee report. So this is one of the very important for your both the phases 1 and 2, and as well as descriptive paper as well. The Minister of State for Jal Shakti in the Lok Sabha, about the steps on the Mihika committee report. What this report says, everything is there in our current affair material. Just go through it. That would be enough. Read it at least 2 to 3 times, because you can get some good content for your descriptive paper as well. So if you read it 3 to 4 times, there is no harm in it. You will learn multiple things here. Then National Land Monetization Corporation. Again, we are not going to cover it here because we have already done this in the finance current affairs, right? Why finance current affairs? Because something is related to share capital, then authorized capital. So that's why we have covered it in the finance current affair material, right? Then India and UAE Comprehensive Economic Partnership Agreement, CEPA. Very, very important. So few things are covered in the finance current affair as well, but if you read from that or here, it's the same thing. Export and imports from the UAE. UAE is also one of the biggest destination for the Indian goods, and also we import oil from the UAE. So UAE is now one of the important partner, and also the government has opened the GEM portal. Actually, no, not GEM portal. You can say government procurement. Government procurement is open for the companies in UAE as well, so that the competition is increased. Now, initiative by various ministries for ease of doing business. So multiple departments. So this is about the DPIIT, this is about the Ministry of Labor and Employment, because ease of doing business is not just about the finance ministry, it's about multiple ministry, right? It's also about the Department of Justice and Legal Affairs. So everything, all the department has done their part so that India can be one of the destination for business, considering ease of doing business, right? Then India's semiconductor mission. So you can go through it, because again this is something related to science and tech. Hardly you would find some question, but yes, India's semiconductor mission, you can find it in the phase 2 in the context of renewable energy, but you won't find it in the context of no, I got it wrong, very much sorry, renewable energy, no. So yeah, this is completely related to science and tech. Hardly you will find any question in your phase 2, but yes, for phase 1 this is one of the important thing. Now see, design linked incentive schemes. Okay, so this is something phase 2 content, right? So which you should read and understand. So then we have come to the one-liner, which that we do not cover it in the video. So with this we have come to the end of this lecture. We wish you very good luck from Team Crack Grade B. Happy and thank you learning.